Webinar funnels are boring as hell, but they made one of my clients $25,000 in just 7 days, and I'm also 15 years old. Another thing about this client is that he had a really unqualified audience, like Indians, Nigerians, and people with no money. And when you run this systemized funnel with an actual audience, like with a good audience, you can easily do over 100K in a single week, if not in way less time. And today I'm gonna break down the exact structure that we used. I'm gonna go really in depth about everything that got us there, so you can simply take it and easily implement it for yourself as soon as you click off this video. So make sure to stick till the end. By the way, I already made another video on webinar funnels in the past. I went really deep on the front end stuff that everyone sees, like more basic knowledge for people that never ran them. So make sure to go check that out too if you're looking to run a webinar in the future for your offer. But one problem with this webinar is that most people completely mess up the backend. Like they are able to get registrations, but then they wonder why nobody shows up, why nobody buys, or why the conversion rates are super low. And the difference between a webinar that loses money and one that is able to make 25K in a week with an unqualified audience is what happens after someone registers. And today I'm gonna give you the full blueprint to max conversion and pull back the curtains on my $25,000 week with a super trash audience. So just to show you that I'm not lying. Wait, why did I make my camera so big? Just to show you that I'm not lying, by the way, this is proof of the results. This is one payment processor that we used. It's WAP. Obviously, we also had bank transfers and crypto stuff. But this is just to show you that I'm 100% transparent, that I'm actually doing it and that I'm not lying. So let's just get into the video. So what you need to do is you gotta do the math before you start spending some money. Before we even ran this webinar, I was there doing the math, calculating all the software costs, or if we would have ran ads, I was gonna calculate them too. So you wanna calculate everything. And we did not run ads specifically for this one webinar, just because the organic was already solid and it was the creator's first ever webinar and he didn't really feel like running ads. But since his organic was super solid, I was just fine with it. There was no problem, and were still able to make crazy amounts of money. But what you wanna do is reverse engineer exactly what stats we need to be profitable. This is something that you gotta do, and that is crucial. You gotta always be calculating stuff and doing the math on everything. And now I'm just gonna give you a couple of metrics. Remember, this is gonna be worst case scenario. So let's say you run the worst webinar in all of the info history, and you're usually gonna get around these metrics here. So a cost per registrations is gonna be around $30, which you're able to get 20 to 15 with actual good ads and systems. A show rate of 15%, which is absolutely shit. With a cold audience and no backend systems, you're gonna get 15 to 20%, but with a proper funnel and with a proper method, you're gonna get everything between 40 to 50%. Example, we had 35%, which is really good. Then the booking rate, you're gonna get around 10%, which is S. But with a dialed webinar, you should be able to easily hit 20 to 30%. The call show rate is gonna be 50%, which, keep in mind, is absolutely shit. Like if you're getting 50% call shows rate, you're doing something wrong and you're never gonna make money. But with a proper follow-up, you should easily hit 70 to 85%. You wanna have a right follow-up system, and this is exactly how you were able to have a 78% show up rate, or the close rate around 20%, which, bear in mind, is absolutely shit. Like this is the worst close rate you could ever get. If you have an autistic closer, you're gonna get 20%, but webinar leads should close at least at 50%, not even 30, at least at 50% if you have a good team, because they're gonna be way warmer than a normal lead. And you know what, we had even higher than 50%, so you're gonna be able to get 60 to 70% closing rate if your team is good. And then the AOV is gonna be around 1.8k, worst case scenario. And with a mix of payment plans and PIFs, we hit an AOV of 3,500. But you gotta know before spending money that even in a worst case scenario like this, I don't know if you ever ran a webinar. If you have, you're gonna know that these metrics here are absolutely trash, and you wanna aim for way higher stuff. So you wanna track everything so that you know that even in a worst case scenario, you're gonna still break even or make a small profit. This is crucial because if you don't do the math, you're just gonna burn money on the wrong stuff, on the wrong things, on things that do not work. Also, you're not gonna know what you need to improve. Let's say you have a low closing rate and you don't track it, you don't do the math on that, you're not gonna know that your sales team needs to be replaced. Your ad cost is super high, you're not gonna know that, so you don't know that you have to improve ads. Or you see, call show rate. If you have a 50% show rate, you're gonna know, if you do the math, you're obviously gonna know that needs to be improved, so you're gonna work on better systems. So you gotta do the math, because when you do, you're gonna spend money on the right stuff, you're gonna get a crazy ROAS, which if you don't know what that means is return on investment, and you're gonna know what needs to be improved so that when the webinar hype dies down, you're gonna have dialed backend systems to scale to over 6 figures per month. So this is why you gotta do the math before you even spend a single dollar. Now that we did the math, you wanna dial in the confirmation page, because the confirmation page here, this is the one that I had for my client, is where you're gonna make the most amounts of money. I know you're not gonna believe it because most people are monkeys and they think once someone registers, they're done, they're gonna show up because they made the commitment to show up, to register, sorry. But between the registration and the actual webinar, there's gonna be time passing. And this is a huge gap that you need to fill in, because questions are gonna come up, doubt is gonna creep in, better and funnier things are gonna come up rather than the webinar. And obviously, we want to prevent this, because when people have doubt, when they have questions, they're gonna be way less likely to prioritize the webinar and to eventually show up. So we prevent this with the confirmation page. So the most important thing here is the video, the confirmation video. This is a small part, like the main parts that we had for my client. I'm not gonna read through all of this. If you want to, you can take a screenshot, but bear in mind, this is not the whole video. These are just the most important parts. But on this video, you want to set the expectation that you're gonna give them a ton of value before the webinar starts. So you go like, in the next couple of days, I'm gonna send you countless valuable emails, or join the WhatsApp group, because in there I'm gonna be sending crazy information that people that are not in the group are not gonna get. So this is what you want to do on the confirmation video. You want to hype up the lead, first thing first. You want to make sure they set the reminder on their calendar. You want to make sure they show up to the webinar. You want to make sure that they join the WhatsApp group and that they check their emails constantly. So another thing you want to have on the page are breakout videos. You want to have each one 2 to 5 minutes long, and each one answered a specific question or objection that someone might have. You want to make videos on questions that your sales team gets asked on every call, or on the common objections that come out repeatedly, or parts of the webinar that we want people to understand before showing up. Like, let's say you're teaching trading, you have a trading offer, and you have a unique system. You wanna clearly have people know before they even show up that your method works, or you wanna give a quick rundown on your method. So this is what you want to do on your confirmation page. You want to have breakout videos. Example, you could answer questions like, do I need a big budget to make this work, or what if I never done this before, or how long does it actually take to see results, or do I need to team, or can I do this solo? Just common objections that people give you, or your sales team. And when you dial the breakout videos, it's literally a cheat code. This is easily something that can get you from a 30% show up rate to a 50%. Just because you're answering people questions and objections, so that they're gonna have no reason to not show up. Because when someone registers to your webinar, they're gonna enter a mental cycle and they're gonna start researching about you. They're gonna start thinking, is this real? Can I actually do this? Is this person legit? Because obviously, if you start making claims like I made 100K per month at 21 years old, or uh, you start making really big claims, clearly people are gonna be skeptical. Not everyone, but most people will be skeptical. So they're gonna start researching about you. And that's why you need to give them your own research about you. This is what you wanna give to people. Because if you don't do this, they are gonna look you up on Google. They're gonna find your competitors. They're gonna find bad reviews or anything that might be better than you. And they will 100% find reasons to not show up. So you wanna give them your videos answering their exact concerns. What we're doing here is we're making them do their research on your terms. They are consuming your perspective of yourself. And this is crucial because people are retarded. They don't believe stuff. So you wanna make sure that you help them make research about who you are, but that they only consume your perspective on it. Also, you want to have testimonials. We showed modest wins, solid wins, and great wins. Because when someone is currently doing, and as an example, 10K month, and you only show 0 to 30K in 30 days testimonials, they cannot mentally bridge that gap. It's not believable to them, and they cannot relate to it. Or let's say you post a great win of someone in your program making 100K per month. Not everyone that is making $0 a month is gonna relate to that. That's why you wanna post modest wins and solid wins, just to show people that in your program everyone wins no matter the size of the win. Everyone wins no matter what. Now I'm actually giving you the sauce here. What you want to do is you want to do live attendance bait. You want to say something like, I'll be giving away exclusive templates and resources only to people who show up live. This won't be available on the replay. And this great urgency to attend live, and obviously people are gonna be like, I want it. They're gonna be alerted. What we did as an example is we made a YouTube video about an indicator while we were promoting the webinar. And in the beginning of the video, the creator said, by the way, I'm giving the name of this indicator, which if you know a little bit of trading, you know what an indicator is. I'm giving away the name of this indicator on the webinar. And we had a lot of people show up asking what is the name of the indicator. I didn't even expect to get that many demand, but this works super well because a lot of people that joined wanted to know the name of the indicator. And this alone here, everything that I just ran you through, got us from a 15 to 20% to a 38% show up rate, and it could even do better for you. So make sure that you took notes, because here I gave you the full blueprint to having an actual great conversion rate, because this is something that most people miss out on. They think that just having a good VSL for the webinar or having a good registration page matters. But the time between the actual registration and the booking time is brutal. Like, people are gonna think about everything. They're gonna think about any reason on why they should not show up, and this is what you wanna do in order to delete that. So obviously, now that we had people show up to our webinar, you wanna have a good webinar structure. You wanna have good slides. You wanna have a good pitch. You wanna have good copy. Because you can have perfect backend systems, but if your webinar sucks, nobody is gonna book calls. Nobody. You're not gonna make money if you don't have a good pitch or you have a good offer or good copy here. You're just never gonna make money, and you just wasted time and money. That's how important it is to have a good webinar structure. So this is exactly what I used for my client. If you want the actual slides, just DM me on IG and I got you. But make sure to take notes, because this is the main reason we were able to make $25,000 in a single week. So, first things first, you obviously want to have the hook. You want to grab attention immediately. You want to ask a question or make them do something like a pull, raise their hand, or comment. You want to get them engaged. You want to get them hyped up. So, you could say something like, raise your hand or type yes, if you're ready to learn exactly how to go from 0 to 10K per month trading, for example. You want to challenge something they believe, you want to break their limiting beliefs. One thing that we did was we kind of did a pop quiz in the beginning, and all of the questions were false. It was a true or false question, and everything were false, and we were basically just breaking their beliefs. And obviously you want to match what you promised before the webinar. So if you were doing a giveaway, you wanna basically just incentivize the fact that they gotta stick till the end to actually get the giveaway or whatever they're getting. Second, now that we have our hook ready, you got the problem. So you wanna talk about what's not working in their life or in their business. You wanna list the exact excuses that they tell themselves. This is really important. And you also want to use the words that they use and not any fancy language. And you don't want to fix their problem yet because we're just in the beginning. You just want to show that you understand where they are and their situation. You want to say something like, I know what you're thinking. I know you're thinking I don't have time, or I tried this before and it didn't work, because I was there too. I tried countless business model before this one, blah blah blah. Because when someone knows that you understand their situation, they're also gonna believe that you can get them out of there. So this is why it's super super important. So you basically want to share your story by saying, I was just where you are now. Now that we got our story dialed in, you want to have a what you will learn slide. By the end, you will know exactly how to do this, this, and that, so that people stick till the end and actually know what they're learning. Fourth, the dream. You want to paint what life looks like when they fix this. And not just money, freedom, time, respect, whatever they actually want. Make them see it and feel it. Example, imagine waking up without an alarm, checking your phone, and seeing that $1,000 came in while you slept. You literally want to make them feel it. You want to go really big on this. Fifth, who you are, like your best results, your average results, your recent results, how you went from where they are to where you are. A key line here: I'm the only person teaching your thing to their situation using your method. You can use this in your copy, it's a cheat code. Sixth, you wanna basically make them understand the one thing that changes everything. What you think is your problem is actually your solution. This is just reframing their beliefs. You want to challenge what everyone knows and what everyone is teaching out there right now. You want to like go against your competitors, and like this is their holy shit moment. They're gonna be, I never realized something like this. I'm glad that I hopped on this webinar. I'm gonna keep watching this till the end because I know the value is gonna be crazy. Seventh, the method. You want to break your unique mechanism into 3 to 5 parts, and for each part you want to basically show what it is, why it matters, how to do it, show someone who did it successfully, and ask continuously, does this make sense? Do you see how much value I'm giving you 100% for free? And you want to keep asking yes questions throughout to build momentum. And another thing, you wanna spark in results while you teach your method. And let's say you're a dropshipper, you're talking about winning products, and you wanna go like, this student here understood and took my method and used my method, and now is making 10K per month with organic dropshipping. You wanna spark in results, but at the same time you wanna keep it really really engaging. Crucial part here too is you wanna break it into parts, just like a YouTube video, so that people know what you're teaching and which part of the training they're in. It obviously also make it easier for them when they're taking notes and stuff. So you want to break it into parts, because if you don't, they're not gonna be much focused. But if you actually tell them pillar one, pillar two, pillar three, they are basically gonna just be more focused and actually listen to you more. Eight, you wanna get commitment. Before mentioning your offer, you wanna ask, can you see yourself doing this, or does this feel doable? Are you clear on the path forward? Stuff like, now that I have given you all this value, do you feel like you have a clear path to get to 10K per month? And they need to say yes in the chat to the method before you offer to help them. This is important. You gotta get commitment from them. Ninth, the bridge. You want to say something like, over the last hour you learned, and you got do a recap, just to show them how valuable the webinar is, because we are in a trust recession, and trust is the one main thing that is missing right now. So when you give free value, you're building trust. So this is why you want to show how valuable the stuff that you gave actually is, or you want to ask, was this valuable, or you could do this alone, or I can help you. And you want to basically natural transition into the your own offer. And then to the offer, obviously you want to give it a good name. And when you present it on this slide, you want to have one single sentence. So you want to put like name, one sentence, and then you have a sub headline, like even if you even without experience or something, and if you have a guarantee, you want to put it there too. You want to list 4 to 7 main things that they're gonna get, and you want to focus on results, not features. I cannot stress this enough. I talk about this in every single one of my videos. You wanna sell the dream and not the outcome. People don't care how they're gonna get somewhere. They only care if and when they can get there. You wanna show proof for each thing. Let's say you're talking about one-on-one help in your program, and you wanna be like, this guy I was mentoring in him every single day, and this is how we got to 10K per month. Or if you're showing off your course, you wanna show them actual modules. You don't just gotta say this, you also wanna show them. And you wanna stack the value. Worth X, Y, and Z. So you wanna be like one-on-one help, worth $9,000. I'm giving it to you for X amount of money. 11th the price. So what others paid for similar results, what you normally charge, what they're paying today, and show how fast they'll make it back. Then you want to add 3 to 6 bonuses. You want to make bonuses feel more valuable than the main offer. You want to keep the best bonus for last, only available if they buy on the webinar. And you want to add up the total value. So let's say you have $1,000 discount, or you have a done for you something, and you want to be like, I used to sell this for $2,000. Now if you join, you're getting it for free. So this is kind of what you want to do, but you want to have a lot of bonuses, and people are gonna feel urgency and are gonna be wanting to buy from you now, because obviously they are available for only a limited time. Then you want to create urgency, so you want to have a real deadline, like time or spots. You want to give them a real reason why there is a deadline. So you want to say something like, the bus leaves at time, everyone who's on gets to their destination. And obviously you want to show them what happens if they wait versus if they act now. You want to show them their life if they don't take action, and you want to show them their life if they take action. This is their dream outcome. This is, you're gonna be stuck to where you are right now forever. Then you want to remove risk with a guarantee. So even if you only get 10% of results, you're still ahead and you're still making X amount of money. And you want to show others who had the same fears and won anyway. And then you got the final push. So here's where you'll be in 6 months if you don't do this. Here's where you'll be if you do. Simple steps. You go to link, fill out the form, and book a call. You want to run them through the form. You want to run them through the application call, everything. And you want to do a quick recap of everything that they're gonna get bonus. And you want to assume they're joining. So you want to say when you join today, and not if you join today, just because it's better and people are just going to have more trust in you. And then at the end of all of this, you want to have a Q&A with common questions, where you want to basically do objection handling before questions even come up. Like, look at this as a big sales call where you're selling to hundreds of people instead of just one guy. You want to have Q&A questions, and then you want to do an open Q&A answering to people questions. And when you are done with this, you want to have a slide saying, great, if any of these questions was the reason you didn't book a call or apply, just click the link down below and join. Another smart thing is having a QR code when you're pitching, because most people are gonna be looking at it from their computer or from their phone or anything, and they just don't want to leave the page, so that they can just get another device, scan the QR code, and the QR code is gonna send them to the application phone. Now, obviously, not everyone who's gonna show up to the webinar is gonna apply, even if they're qualified and they believe in your method. So you wanna implement a replay strategy. We created, for this webinar specifically, we created a replay page with the recording embedded and the application form right below it. I did it with Lovable in literally 10 minutes with a simple prompt. And this is how it turned out, more or less. Obviously, I screenshotted 3 different images. That's why it looks like so bad, but it's better. I did it with Lovable in literally 2 minutes. and you want to email it to everyone who registered but that did not attend. You want to email it to everyone who attended but did not book a call. And honestly, this replay sequence got us additional bookings even after the webinar. So it's so powerful that you're basically giving the full masterclass to people that did not show up or to people that didn't even watch it. So you're just basically catching leads that didn't even exist before. You're just creating new leads. And you could also even have an IG ManyChat automation, and so that the setter can eventually follow up with everyone that got the link sent to. But then the setter is gonna follow up with attendees, with non-attendees, with applicants, and with people that booked calls to try to book them on calls again. And even with if someone does not buy on the call, they're not gonna leave your ecosystem. They just get warmer and more ready to buy from you in the future. Because if they up on the call, they're most likely to have watched the webinar and to trust you. And now they just gotta have a little push to actually buy into your stuff. This is why I love webinars. This is why webinars are coming back in 2025. Everyone is starting to post webinars, so hop on the wave if you're trying to make serious money. And if you're looking to run a webinar just like this and implement a funnel like this to your offer to get the same results, just booking a call through the link below. There's a link in the description. What we do is we literally implement all of this for yourself while you don't lift a single finger. This is what we did for our client, and he was able to go from zero to $25,000 in just 7 days with a super unqualified audience. Because honestly, with the right funnel and the right systems in place, everything is possible. So if you're a coach or a content creator trying to start or scale your webinar funnel, just booking a call through the link below. On the call, we're gonna go through your current situation, and I'm gonna give you the clear path to multiple six figures every single month. Apart from that, thank you so much for checking out this video, and see you in the next one.